Hey, it's louisity again, and for this video, I'm gonna be doing another bookish plus fandom kind of video, and I'm going to be recommending books to some of TWICE members. Hoorah! So yes, this guy right here, he's kind of becoming a once, so I thought, why not fuse being a once and my love for books? As usual, fusing two things together, two things that I love. So, let us begin. Sana gives this vibe of being like friendly and sweet, and I wanted to recommend a book that is like, lighthearted. I want to suggest something to her that is, kind of like feel good, something just simply cute, y'all. And I'm gonna be recommending What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Silvera. So this follows the two, kind of two, because you got to see both points of view of two characters here, Arthur and Ben. And Arthur's like from Georgia and he goes to New York, and then he suddenly meets Ben, and from the title itself, like, what if it's them, is fate real? And along the story, they get to, sort of like discover like each other like unexpectedly. And I remember when I was reading this, I was just like, I was just feeling good. I was just having a great time. So, What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Silvera for Sana. Chaeyoung gives this sort of edgy vibes. I know they've been hiding her tattoos, which are actually beautiful. They kind of remind me of 10 from NCT/Wavy. And somebody like her needs some sort of a book that is like, edgy, of course, something that's, unusual, kind of like quirky. And I have to say that this book, Toxicology by Jessica Hagedorn, is quite quirky. Like, when I read this book, it's kind of like the vibes that it gave in the synopsis is different from like how the book itself. The book itself more of like explores the intricacies or the the quirkiness of the characters involved. But the way, if you're going to be reading the synopsis, you might think it's more of a mystery. There is some mysterious elements throughout it that you would like find every now and then, but it's more of like the intricacies and being quirky of the characters. And I kind of find it fascinating because it does give you this like artistic vibe, which if that's what you're going for, then like go for it. Definitely go for this book. So Toxicology by Jessica Hagedorn for Chaeyoung. Momo gives this like soft, cute, and she kind of gives me some sort of like fairy tale vibes. And with that being said, I would like to recommend her a fairy tale retelling from one of my new favorite authors, which is, by the way, if you've watched my mid-year Freakout book tag, you would know whom I'm talking about. Now I'm talking about Ashley Poston, and I will recommend Momo Geekerella by Ashley Poston. Now this follows the story of Elle, who is in this big fandom for a show called Starfield. Now Starfield is kind of like Star Trek, kind of like a sci-fi, like those sci-fi shows, and it has like a huge fandom. Like Starfield has a huge fandom. And we also follow another character whose name is Darian Freeman, who's an actor who is like a huge fan of like Starfield and is kind of like nervous if he's going to be able to play the role and give justice to it. And what I like about this book is that it talks about like how fandoms work and what happens backstage, what goes under the minds of the celebrities, the actors, the people that you look up to, idols, and like what goes through your head. It was able to create a narrative that gave like a vivid imagery of like what's going on backstage. And I think that Momo is going to enjoy it. The references to Cinderella are really cute. I like the 12 midnight thing that they were chasing. If you want to know what I'm talking about and how it is like similar, you gotta read the book. So, Geekerella by Ashley Poston for Momo. When I see Nayeon, she gives me like girly, vibes, and she's kind of like very sister-like. I like the way she like held her hand to Jonghyun in that like concert, that like virtual concert they had. That was super sweet. And with that being said, something girly and something like sisterhood and loving each other, I'm gonna have to go with Sisters by Danielle Steele. Now this book follows the story of 4 sisters, and they're of course living in a great family with like great upbringing, and it's like their family's like pretty good. They've got great careers, they have great relationships towards each other, and then a tragedy happens, and like things started becoming different. Okay, but what I like about this book is even if there's a turn of events, it's not something that's very dragging. It's always finds like a bright light with like even if the sad situation occurs, it's like there's a sort of like bounce back. It's not like if you're looking for something where you don't want to like sulk too much, this book, I definitely recommend this book. It's one of my favorite or great reads in 2020, and yes, I think like with Nayeon, she's just gonna appreciate their relationships towards each other among like the sisters. And yeah, like the back part, if you read the synopsis, it might make you think, ooh, so dramatic or not. I didn't feel that, but still I felt like I got a balance. It wasn't like super happy and oh yeah, we're gonna be positive. It's like there's a balance of both. You get to see like the struggles, and at the same time them being able to cope with it and being one, and we are sisters and we are all in this together. And I think it was able to create a vivid imagery of family being united despite like a tragedy. So I'm recommending Sisters by Danielle Steele to Nayeon. And lastly for this video, yes, you heard that, for this video. So lastly for this video is Mina. Now she's giving this sort of like elegant, poised vibe. She's kind of like just chill and just sitting classy like that, sitting elegantly. It's like the vibe she's going for. And this book, like this is kind of like the first time that I'm going to be recommending a second book in the series, and I'm going to explain you why, and that would be Try the Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan. Now, okay, but with the Crazy Rich Asian series, I know it's a trilogy, but based on my experience reading the trilogy or the series, there are references towards like the previous books. If you read Rich People Problems, you will see some references towards like the previous books, because there are like previous scenes that are like connected to it, like some of the characters' stories and narratives are connected. But if you're considering like if there's like just specific like plot that you are after, like here it focuses more on like Rachel's true identity, and how she's actually like super rich. Woo! Newsflash! Rachel is super rich. Yeah. So if you wouldn't really mind like the first story, like how the whole Nick and Rachel love story, if that's something that you don't really much pay attention, or rather I should say like more invested into, then you can like proceed to China Rich Girlfriend, or even like in Rich People Problems if this isn't also another story that you're looking for. And that's Rich People Problems kind of like focuses on Nick. So yeah, it's kind of like the trilogy or the series is kind of like it has companion books, if that makes any sense. So yeah, why did I recommend this to Mina? So because this gives sort of like I'm classy yet I can like you, and a lot of like there's a lot of tea here, which I think like Mina is kind of like, let me sip some tea, you know, because I'm elegant, y'all. I'm elegant, so I'm gonna sip some tea because I'm elegant. Yes, so that's how it like works. So there's a lot of, when I read this book, it wasn't something that I was expecting to, and yeah, and if you're into the tea, definitely go for China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan. Now, this is the book that I'm recommending to Mina. So, what books are you going to recommend to Sana, Cheon, Momo, Nayan, and Mina? What are those books? Feel free to comment down below. And yes, there is going to be a second part, so watch out for that video. Hoorah! Now, if you made it this far, leave either a pineapple or watermelon emoji because of the shirt that I'm wearing. So, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon so we're down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. I'll also be putting down links and handles of my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there as well. As always, thank you super much for watching. Always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye y'all.